Lovebites fans. Many of you have asked me for this, and now it is finally up on Patreon. Midori and Miyuki's Gear Rundown, Daughters of Dawn, my reaction and in-depth discussion. Now up on Patreon. Check it out, folks. The extra support means so much. Friends, Brian here for Yes You Can Play Guitar. How are you guys doing? So I want to do a few reading your comments videos because, of course, if it wasn't for you guys, this channel would not exist. Or it would, but there wouldn't be as many views and subscribers. So for that, I thank you. So we are going to do Lovebites, the real Swan song reaction. Now, for all of you who've watched the video, you know that I posted another reaction to another version of the Swan song, but it wasn't the link that everyone was really wanting me to react to. It was a great performance. But it seemed like the classical piece in the beginning of the new one, so I called it the real Swan song. So we are going to go to the real Swan song reaction here. And let's check it out. Almost at 27,000 subscribers. Can you believe it? Okay. So Ian Ma, 1585. There's no wrong version of the song. We just prefer this one for the Chopin intro in the better recording mix. Very true. Exactly. Okay. Exactly. At 1970 Phoenix. Yep, I agree. At Alec Hidell, the only version of this song with the prominent piano outro in the mix is this one. Two other live recordings and one studio recording have Miyako's piano as part of the instrumentation. As a whole, not high. Only the solo outro is supposed to stand out. Don't ask me, ask Miyako, as she says as much in the audio commentary version. So we have no preference. Okay, cool. Metal Mark, 1214. You didn't play the wrong Swan song, so he's just reiterating what Alex said. Makes so much better. Yeah. I'm glad you brought up how much dedication the ladies put in to be this good. People have no idea, you know, unless you're like, you know, a really serious musician or even a professional musician. Like, the work that they put into doing what they do is absolutely incredible. So many reactors say they make it look easy. Yeah, because they put in a ton of time to be this good. Yeah, you can imagine for how good they make it look live. Many hours went into that moment in rehearsal. Okay. At Ahodori 9L5HZ, the piece Miyako is playing the piano is Chopin's Piano Etude, Opus 10, number 12, commonly called Revolutionary Etude. Some knowledge of history is required to understand the meaning of the lyrics of this song. So he goes into the story of it. Oh, and the Polish government with the intervention of Russian troops. Okay, that's very cool. And again, I always go through and read the longer posts more in depth, but that is really cool. And you know, what blows my mind is somebody took the time to write this. Amazing. I appreciate it very much. So there's some history there, and very, very interesting. We have a reply here at 785 boats, clearly and succinctly put. Brilliant. Absolutely. Okay. Asami vocalist Foreign Ballet wrote the lyrics inspired by Norse mythology and the ballet suite Swan Lake. Okay, yes, I've heard of Swan Lake, of course. That song was a masterpiece for sure. Sunny Nguyen, 9103. Thank you for reacting and supporting Lovebites, the most talented ladies in metal. Ladies and men. Okay, Carlos Noguera Martinez. Okay, Old Marty. She is a mother since 2 years. Compose songs, make a solo piano album, go fishing and shopping. Cool. And owns a dog, a snake, and an owl. I guess she has to keep her home studio clean so her instruments don't get dusty and dirty. Okay. That was Class God 1895. At Gato Grotto. You may already know this. Miyako, the pianist, started playing guitar at 18, self-teaching with tutorial books and rental CDs. The blonde guitarist Midori even started at 20 at a guitar school. Well, they're very good. At Scarmo, finally, I always find it a bit insulting to hear people say, oh, what talent. This is mastery, for God's sakes, and mastery doesn't come out of nowhere. Thank you for your reaction. Thank you. And, you know, thank you to all of you for taking the time to comment. It means a lot to me. Out West 1014. The Chopin Etude is considered difficult to play because it is left-hand dominant. Piano teachers use it to get students to strengthen the left hand. What is also impressive is Miyako is playing it from memory. Yeah, that's very... And let me tell you, folks, when you age, sometimes you have memory problems remembering pieces or whatever. I think back to some crazy stuff. When I was like a clutch guitar player, people would call me and say, hey, we got a gig coming up this weekend, or da-da-da, can you learn all these songs? Yeah, no problem. And I would do it. Like, how did I learn 30 songs and 30 guitar solos in like a week? Or even a few days? Couldn't do that now. Especially when we're talking about really crazy stuff. But could back in the day. At Rising Moon 3387, the guitarist, pianist, okay, he names everyone's names. And today, May 28th, okay, a few days ago, is Midori's birthday. Happy birthday, Midori. Another outstanding talent is Haruka of Asterism. Yes, we are familiar with her. I have reacted to some of their stuff. She is amazing. Like you always say, practice hard and practice smart. I'm sure they all did that. I agree. At A_un, bassist Mio left the band and the girls took a break. I remember many of you posted telling me about this. A lot of things happened during that hiatus. Audition for a new bassist and pianist, and guitarist Miyako gave birth to a child. And vocalist Asami also gave birth to a child. In a sense, it can be said that they spent their vacation meaningfully. With this hiatus as a turning point, I think they have transitioned from an era of young energy to a mature and complete band. They are that. There's a Google translation. Your post was great, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. At Patrick_H, great reaction. As musicians, we know there can be huge differences in your live performances from night to night. But when it's going right, you relax and just have fun, which is when you play your best. In video, it all depends on the mix. For me, mix in this concert is legendary. Yes, it's true. Sometimes you get a bad mix, a bad sound man or sound woman, it can, yeah, it's not good. The fact that it was paired with 2-hour flawless performance by these ladies is a blessing to the world. I have dozens of live concert DVD Blu-rays. Me too. I have never seen a 2-hour performance as flawless as the Lovebites 5-of-a-kind concert and at Zepp Diver City, Tokyo. Many of you have mentioned this one to me. Asami wrote the lyrics based on the legend that a swan only sings once, right before it dies. It's a call to be willing to fight for whatever you believe in, even the price is high. Great post. So, we live out in the middle of nowhere, and we have a lot of wildlife here, folks. A lot of wildlife. We have a few, they're not swans, but I think they must be related. Families of Canadian geese and their babies on our front lawn. Every day, we see them. Yep. I like them. A lot of people don't like them, but I like them. At VRS Magic, at Lovebites and Masterclass, fire, yes. At Bulletproof Soul. Loved your point about the discipline and dedication it takes to play at this level. I've been playing on and off since the mid-'80s, and my heroes were Alex Skolnick. Alex Skolnick is actually technically my favorite guitar player. And I met Alex virtually for the first time last year. We have talked about doing an interview, but we just couldn't seem to link up. Alex is a great guy, and I even had some correspondence with him back in the 90s. And he always wrote me back. Great guy. He's great to his Patreons. And we just couldn't connect. He's a very busy musician, and he's had some personal things happen the past year. He's had a lot on his plate, so you know, linking up with the time has been very difficult. But he has been my biggest influence and my favorite player of all time, and he's always been exceptionally kind to me. And I hope at some point, maybe this year, maybe next, to link up with him. Rocky George from Suicidal Tendencies. I know that he had played with Fishbone for a while. Again, in that genre, Rocky George is one of my favorite guitar players. But he's a very reclusive person. He's not really on social media. I would love to do an interview with him, as he's one of my favorites. But if you can find him, do you have a way to communicate or find Rocky George? If you can find him, I'd love to have like a contact to contact him. I've been looking for one online actively since I started the channel. He's another person I'd love to interview. Stevie Ray and Vi, but never dedicated to the dull tyke it needed to play as I wanted. I play well enough to jam some songs I love, but not even close to the full technical of my heroes. So there's a 50-minute video out there. I'm doing sound check for a show in Singapore. That's something I would cover for Patreon. I'm going to have some Lovebites content there. I actually have done. I recorded it today, but my reaction and discussion to a video that many of you have recommended to me of Midori and Miyuki talking about their guitar rigs, and that's going to be up on Patreon this week. So anyway, everyone is sync, metronome perfect. It's almost inconceivable how many hours of rehearsal practice time it takes for everyone to be that tight and locked in. That is a great post and very true. And we have a lot of the same taste in guitar, my friend. Okay? So Bulletproof Soul, I appreciate you, and I appreciate your post. At Boys You, Miyako is virtuoso in both the guitar and piano. Yeah, that's very apparent. She has been classically trained on the piano since the age of 3. Wow. Miyako also composed and arranged Swan Song, in this track as a neoclassical masterpiece. Through the song, you can hear motifs of romantic era composers. And we talk about Chopin here in Revolutionary Etude. You can hear this piano piece as motifs in the main riff and her guitar solo, which to me affords a complete experience for this track. It is phenomenal. Mr. Ed, add to that talent level that she can play bass and drums. Wow. Lay down the basic bass line for the album Judgment Day when they got their new bassist, Fami. Miyako had her rewrite. And why did the old bass player leave again? You guys had explained to me what happened. I kind of forget. You know, maybe sometime down the road we could interview Lovebites. Maybe I'll do it with some of my Patreons. I really appreciate, you know, when you guys take that extra step and support the channel. It really means a lot. At World Peace, Lovebites, Swan Song lyrics. If this was the last day... Okay, so they quote the lyrics. Very, very good. Thank you. Beautiful song. Bruce and Album, 2167. I'm a 60s, 70s guy. I've seen everybody for every great guitar player and group. This is the first group in years I can't stop watching. Just astounding talent and perfect live. What talent. So he's saying that the Frozen Serenade reminded him of the Hoodoo Tommy. I never got into them. I was a generation after. I'm in Generation X, but I just never really got the Who. I knew people that were really into them and would go see them, but he gratefully saw a few times when ticket cost $5, not comparing them to the Who, but more so the story that's being told musically. Okay. It's an experience watching and hearing them, and for someone who is very picky and has seen all the greats live, that's a lot to say. They should be playing MSG tomorrow, but not sure what's taking them so long. Well, you know, there's a lot of bands out there and a lot of competition, and, you know, with our delve dive into some of these Japanese metal bands, I was always a huge fan of Loudness back in the 80s. I still am. I have a whole playlist dedicated to Loudness and Akira Takasaki. They'll get there, though. They'll get there, okay? No doubt. At Mark's 54-51, they practice so much they could probably play it in their sleep, but they still get nervous before a live show. Love them and their dedication. So myself, and when I had students who had stage fright, I would often quote Chuck Liddell, the Iceman from the UFC. He was the Iceman because he never got nervous before a fight, because he'd go into a fight saying, hey, if I lose, I've done everything possible to prepare. So I used to tell my students, preparation is the best weapon. All you can do is be prepared, and they were, and they just kicked butt. Okay? Swissy's Tan. This is one of my absolute favorite Lovebite songs. Elegant but brutal at the same time, and that ending. Yes, it's awesome. At Barefoot Baron, 1748, dating beautiful Miyako. Now there's a thought, but I'm happily married, of course. Great reaction, mate. 03 Ace Rider, thank you for your support of Lovebites, my favorite metal band. No problem. Thank you for the support on my channel. At Oku123, thank you for your nice comments. You are very welcome. At Faint Smile 88, magnificent. I agree. At Daiwi9984, I absolutely agree with you. Yes, talent helps, especially when you're starting out. But without incredible discipline and really hard work of practicing, yeah, it's what it comes down to. You know, true talent really is the desire to get better and to practice and be disciplined. He talks about the 5 band members. Again, happy birthday to Midori. I don't want to know how often they didn't want to give up everything when practicing, then found the discipline to successfully complete the practice. For sure. Great post. Thank you. My good friend, the Cyber Mantis. The Chopin piano intro ties it all together. Also, this mix is better. An ideal date would just be hanging out with them in the rehearsal studio. I'll bring the snacks and the drinks. And I'll bring the protein shakes, folks. You know, I had to take some time to get myself in better shape this year. You know what I'm saying? We won't get into that here. Okay? At 1970 Phoenix, and good to hear from you, Cyber Mantis. I always love your posts, and very grateful for your support of the channel. 1970 Phoenix, a freaking masterpiece. I suspect only a handful of musicians on the planet could do what we just saw Miyako do. That, yes, for sure, and just also as a unit. You know, sometimes you can have a band of great musicians, but they just don't click. So they have magical chemistry, too. Pinoy Power 69, Lovebites rules. I agree. Anders Morel, thank you for your reaction. I don't think the latest live of Swan Song is a wrong one. No, I just meant that I reacted to one, but it wasn't really the one that everyone wanted to see. So, but I get it, and I love your post. Thank you so much, and I did have fun, and I really enjoyed it. Shellin1447, Miyako Magic. Wolfgang Walk 337. In your list of things for Miyako to practice, you left out her deep knowledge music theory. Bro, we're recording. I can only name so many things. You know what I'm saying? She also plays drums and the bass, though to Haruna's and family's relief, not on their level. She also has a family on a knack for the technical side of gear, modding her guitars to her liking. I don't know how she does it. The only explanation seems to be that she starts somewhere found an extra 48 hours a day. So while I agree that talent mostly brings you to a good and quicker start, I wouldn't dismiss it as an explanation in total. The woman has a lot of it, besides all the dedication and discipline. Okay. Reply. Okay. At Out West, 1014. She's composed about 50% of she's composing a song on her YT channel. Oh, she has a channel. I should go subscribe. At Alistair McIntyre, great reaction. This version is much better balanced with the intro, and I agree. The terrifying thing is Miyako didn't start playing guitar until she was 19 and is self-taught. But you know what? That is impressive. She's amazing. But here's the thing. Most people that own a guitar, they never become good because they just don't know the right steps to go about it. They're just kind of clueless. They buy a guitar, maybe get a little book, or maybe watch a few YouTube videos, and they're like, you know. But even with proper direction and proper lessons, you still have to discipline and dedicate yourself to it, right? So that's one thing the best teacher in the world can't give somebody. You have to want to do it. So sometimes, you know, some instructors will say, I provide the information, not the motivation. The motivation must come from within. Okay? Duncan, 5228, from one old man to another, I love that reaction. What are you calling old, bro? I might be 50, but I'm turning back the clock. No, just kidding. I love that reaction. I learned to play lefty, right hand strung from a chord book. Played 25 years in successful bands, by ear, little knowledge of what I was doing. Cool, man. And what part of the world are you from, Duncan? Just curious. JP Rules 2578. The Chopin piece that opens the song lends itself to the meaning and lyrics of the song. Chopin, a Pole living in exile in France, learned of the failed Warsaw Revolt against the Russian-controlled rule, hence the revolutionary etude. Yes. I just saw something on Netflix about the Cold War, and it was a really good series. One of the best I've ever seen, talking about the history and then with Poland and Russia and everything. It's very interesting. Gyro Alone Somaru Landa. Cool. Susan Fitzsimmons, 2384. You were dead on, Miyako. Okay, so again, we're just talking about her history on the music and practicing. She's a Star Wars nerd. I didn't know that. The savant brain. Yes, that is a word I've heard a few times in my life. Savant. The savant brain of hers needs to be busy, I guess. I always say she will inspire you or intimidate you to quit. However, all those musicians have the stamina that an Olympic athlete would be jealous of. Great reaction as usual, and yes, they're totally dedicated to their art and each other as well as their fans. Thank you, Susan. Appreciate it. Marco Skazoo. Cool. Hiawatha G. Now you see why some refer to Miyako as the Black Swan. She is a once-in-a-generation talent. And of course, she worked her ass off to become this good at everything. She also plays bass. Wow. You know, I have a feeling that her partner doesn't get to see too much for her. At Mega Hogzilla, pyrotechnical massive show of utter domination by the entire band. Huge flex. Yes. At Michael Butner, 4262, the grandfather of heavy metal is classical music. Very true. Trevor LaRose, 8155, definitely worth checking out Miyako's recent YouTube clips, sharing her writing and recording process. And check for dates in the US to see them. That I'm going to do for my Patreon. And I really appreciate that, Trev. Carlos Javier Noguera Martinez, the 5 girls are wonderful, but in the Swan Song, okay. The feelings perceived in each note of the piano, how it turns the guitar into an extension of itself. I discovered myself before the gods of ice. I love her. That's very deep, my friend. At Stand and Deliver 5, the thin line between love and hate world tour. So where are they going? So they're going to be in Europe. So no chance for me seeing them. They're going to be at Prague Power Atlanta on September 6th. For me, where I live, I'm going to be looking more for... see, Francis, they're teasing us, not announcing more USA dates. For me, it would probably be Montreal would probably be the ideal venue for me to go see them. And Montreal, for those of you that don't know, it's a crazy city that loves metal. They're very passionate about metal there. I've been to some metal concerts in Montreal, and it is nuts. So that would probably be more relatively my neck of the woods, Montreal. Okay. At CDMS PT Masterpiece, I agree. At Rick Dale, there's no shame in using backing tracks. No, I think it depends on the context. The way they use them, as I said, who cares? If it's your whole band's performance and the singer's vocals and stuff, then it gets kind of weird. Okay? Some bands use them to deceive. He's talking about Motley Crue. But Lovebites use them because as much as Miyako wishes she could play both the guitar and harmony piano, same time she can't, she would need more limbs for that. Okay? So, yes, I agree. As 1970 Phoenix, I look forward to the day that Miyako is cloned or grows an extra pair of arms. At the Saturday Morning Cowboy, LOL, we love your reactions, even if it was the wrong one for the first time. Well, thank you, my friend. Well, thank you. Ed7501, Ed is my friend from Hong Kong. Ed is one hell of a grappler, and he has a knee bar like no other. Holy shit is right. Haven't watched Lovebites in a while because my wife gets jealous when I watch them too much. Okay. They are very beautiful. GT1, man, 931. The recent version isn't terrible. It just misses the intro. Okay, yes, exactly. Okay. Thank you. Long Hunter. The band got their name from Hailstorm. Lovebites. Cool. Evil Volts. Thanks for revisiting this song, as there are a few of their songs that do have multiple links. Usually the links provided are great. Every now and then there's one who gives you a link, and many others prefer the original. Sorry. Under these bright lights, folks, my eyes are going cross-eyed. Okay. Wake Again live studio version of Scream for me when it's funnier watching the old link of them playing in front of the crowd where Midori slips and catches herself while not missing a beat. I have not seen that. I wish you could email me that link at yesyoucanplayguitar@gmail.com. Mr. Niorazol, both guitars start playing by 18. Yes. They are amazing, my friend. Amazing. Velko Nikolic, IS5PX. Words of this song have great meaning in life on good people. And thank you to you guys for giving me the history lesson behind it. You know, I just was like, man, they're singing about lotuses, man. But it didn't matter. It was still really cool. Okay. Not since Symphony X have I ever heard a band this good. Yes, I talk about Symphony X when I talk about Miyuki and Midori's rig rundown on Patreon. Check it out, my friend. Okay. Michael Romeo is one of my absolute favorites. Thanks for another great reaction, Chad the Dragon Lord. Thank you, Chad, for supporting the channel. Swissy Stan, funniest reaction to this song ever. Thank you. I do have a sense of humor. Not everyone gets it, though. But I try. Oh, Lord, I try. At Andrea Peterson. Andrea S. Peterson. There's no bad version of it. Okay. Again, she's just mentioning about the other version, how the intro was missing stuff. A Bulletproof Soul. I wouldn't say you picked the wrong one. So again, we're talking about that again and about how talented they are. Last year, Miyako released an EP of piano metal covers of Battery, Metallica, Far Beyond the Sun, Yngwie Malmsteen, I Don't Like Donuts. One of my favorites. I will probably do some Patreon material of that. I appreciate that, Bulletproof Soul. Halloween, I never really got into them. I got to give back in the late 80s, I remember them. I kind of just thought they were just kind of like an Iron Maiden kind of band, but I got to give them another shot. I'm going to look into that, Bulletproof Soul, and I'll put that up on Patreon. Don Brush Sucks. I thought I was going to say Donald Brashear, the fighter from the, Lovebites, yes. AF Lovable, well said about what it takes. Talent, great thing to have, but it won't bring you to where these women are. You might become a decent to good musician, have nice guitar evenings with friends, and become a local hero in all the pubs in your region. Putting in the work will make your talent shine and distance you from all the other musicians or painters, athletes, and craftsmen. True. Oleta Liano, I've been playing bass since 1975. Cool. And the two things I see that stop young musicians on their tracks is A, their parents buy them a cheap guitar bass with action so high, even a pro couldn't play it. Oh my God, you are so right. Don't even get me started. B, they try to learn to play an instrument before learning even a little bit of music theory. It's like trying to write a novel before learning the alphabet. It's very true. I always make sure to teach theory in my lessons, but, you know, Not everyone takes to it. Same thing with using a metronome and doing exercises, which I can guarantee you Miyuki and Midori do them. But in my case, I faced a lot of resistance trying to get into metal bands because I was female. Glad to see all these hardworking, talented women playing rock and metal just as good or better than their male counterparts. Rock on. Very cool. Love it. Jay Sudes, I'm just looking at the time before it cuts off here. So, Jay, this June 2024, Lovebites, a thin line between love and hate world tour. So he names the dates. So far in Europe, at Daco Frock. Yes, you can play piano, but probably not like piano. No, man, I can't play piano even 1/1000th like Miyako. Gerard Cote, you got to check out Aldius Refire. Aldius is a metal all-female band whose success opened the door to all the bands that followed. Okay, good. I'm going to look into that. The Ohoff, what a great review. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Lake Kenneth, Miyako, piano is married and has a kid, but still I see your point. Yeah, her husband doesn't get to see her much. Anders Lofgren, it's not right or wrong. Okay, so we talk about that again. Regardless, the song is so good it can be reacted to twice. Great post again. At MMCPA, Miyako is a genius musician. The song is a super example of how to use a backing track. Yes, exactly. Great post. At Ferret Ferrari, 666 views in an hour. It's the sign of the beast. Satan was obviously enjoying this song. Very cool. There you go. Guys, that is awesome. So once again, I encourage you guys, if you like the channel and you want to take the extra step with a bit more support, join my Patreon because I'm going to be posting all kinds of Lovebites content there. In fact, I'm posting a video this week talking about my reaction to their gear setup on guitar. So that was great, guys. Again, thank you. Without you guys, this channel would be nothing. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. Remember, practice hard, practice smart, and we will see you soon.